Alright guys, sorry about that, it just caught me halfway through then. What have we got for you today? Right, I'll just turn the volume down so you can hear me. What we've got today is CrossDJ for iPhone. It's by Mixvibes. Now, for those, let me stop that. For those that you don't know, Mixvibes has been around a while. It comes in various guises. You can get it on the Mac and the PC as desktop applications. But they've also recently introduced the iPad and iPhone versions. Now, a little bit of, oh, excuse me. A little bit of history in the sense that Mixvibes is also what powers Rekordbox, as used by Pioneer. So the actual technology, the beat gridding and the analysis of this tracks is very, very good. And I have to admit, Mixvibes is one of those kind of slightly underrated products. Or their product range is slightly underrated compared with the well-known brands such as Traktor, Virtual DJ and Serato. But Mixvibes offers a really, really good product range. The CrossDJ range, it comes in iPhone, iPad, Mac and PC, as I've said. But we'll look at the iPhone version at the moment, mainly due to the fact is I don't have an iPad that will run the CrossDJ. It only runs on iPad 2s or later. This version runs, you basically, the best way of describing it is you need a 4 or a 4S or above iPhone to run this. It will run on, I think, from memory, I think it's 4th generation iPod Touches. Please visit the App Store and get all the details from there. Why do I like this? Well, I tell you what, I like it because it does exactly what it says on the tin. It's one of the first iDevice DJ applications that actually does what it says it, does what it says it does. If we have a look at what we've got set up, I've got my iPhone 4S. At the minute it's in airplane mode and I've unloaded all the applications from the taskbar and only have the CrossDJ application running. It will run with, a full taskbar full of stuff, but for peace of mind it's always best to just shut everything down. I've got it feeding into a iRig iMix mixer, which is by IK Multimedia. I have it connected via the 30-pin connector, so I've got a power supply coming into my phone, and I've also got an audio out from this connector. The audio out goes into channel 1, or the line 1 input of the mixer. Using the selectors on the mixer, I've selected it to 1 input. What that will do is the iRig mix will automatically split the 2 incoming signals, so the left hand and the right hand channels, into a left and right channel for the mixer. I have it set up in here in the actual application for external mixer. So what that allows me to do is I can play deck A into channel 1, deck B into channel 2, and I'll just quickly demonstrate that. You can hear channel 1. Okay, and of course trusty Pioneer headphones lurking in the background. I've got those in the headphone port and I can select which channel I want to use using the Q buttons here. The actual application itself, what does it offer you? Well, it does go a little bit beyond some of the other applications in the sense that across the top we have our load buttons, we have our waveform, we have our, now I'm not quite sure what Mixvibes call this. In Traktor it's the phase meter, but one complete revolution of this circle, you'll see it going round and round as I do that, equals 4 beats. So that's a 1 bar. And if I use that one, you can see the red one going round. If I put both of them together, you can see them both going round. Obviously you want to try and match those two. The 12 o'clock position is the beginning of each bar. Now you can go into a kind of a sliding waveform, very similar to Virtual DJ. In fact, very similar. In fact, it's identical to Mixvibes' actual software. You can see the waveform there, and there's another one there. These are a little bit slight at the moment. I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll just come out of that, go into there, and then I'll go back into that. Now you can see the waveforms a bit clearer there. They are very small. The iPad version has a much clearer interface, just purely for the fact it's got more real estate. So we've got left and right decks. Left and right decks tells you the track. You can set cue markers. So cue markers, if you notice I'm using a touch pen, mainly because I've got podgy fingers. So go into this menu, which is the loop, and they call it notifications. cues to me and you. We've got cue points that we can set up. Okay, there's 6 cue points and they all have different colours. It's very difficult to see on the video because it's very difficult to see in real life actually, but there is a little green line just above where the pen is now, and that's a cue marker for point 2 on that particular track. In here we've also got the looping section, and we've got 2 different sorts of loop mode with this product. If we set that going, standard loop, so it's just a 4-beat loop. I can halve it again, and again and again and again and again. Okay, I've also got slip mode. Slip mode only operates for as long as I press it, hold the key down, so the track is still playing underneath. Okay, so simple standard looping. You've got to kind of be on the ball with it. It doesn't quantize or anything like that, but there you go. Now, if I press the mix button, whilst I've got it selected external mixer, you'll see that all of the fader systems in there are blanked out, as is the crossfader. It's because it's using an external mixer, so there's no internal mixer structure initiated at the moment. If I just switch off the external mixer by going into the settings menu, so switch off the external mixer, go back into mix, you'll see all of the controls are now present, and I've got a crossfader and everything else available to me. I'm just going to switch that back off. In fact, while we're in here, let's have a quick look at the settings. We have the master volume and decks A and B gain. I'm going to go into external mixer, which switches off deck A and B gain because I have them on my mixer, but it still leaves me with the master volume. I also have vinyl mode. At the moment it's off. What does that actually mean? Well, if I play a track, if I press, you can see we now go into pitch bend mode. And pressing and holding the plus and minus keys will pitch bend it. See, there's no vinyl mode available. If I go back in, switch vinyl mode on, we're now back into normal vinyl mode. So if you are partial to the scratch, you can do so. I'll just shut that down. Security, we can select that on or off. What that means is it won't load or allow you to seek through the track at the top whilst the track's playing. Stops you causing a problem. We have split output. So if you weren't using a mixer but you were using a split output cable where one is going to your portion is going to your headphones and one's going to your master out, then that's the option you would select. But you will have to have a split output cable attached to your iDevice to do that. We've got pitch range. We can select the pitch range. At the minute it's at 4%. We got various options right up to 100%. And you can also select the crossfader cut, so combine or alternate. Pitch bend, so that's the pitch bend in CD mode, as it were, 2, 4 or 8%. We've got sync mode, you can select it to the bar. 4 beats or 16 beats, a cycle, or a phase, it's often known. And we can also put a limiter on, so it acts like a compressor to stop it over gaining on your output. I normalise all my tracks prior to using them anyway, so even if they come as a promo or whatever, they always get normalised just for my own peace of mind, to be honest with you. The other options we have in here, we've got cues. So what I'll do is I'll set that playing, turn that up. So just a standard cue. Now the only trouble is my fingers are a little bit podgy, so I have to kind of, if I'm using the cue button, I have to get in there with my other finger. A cheating way is, and this moves into the tempo side of things, is I'm going to load another track into this side. This is your menu, so this is just tracks that are in my library. It'll operate on playlists, songs, artists, albums or genres. Very similar to, in fact, so actually the iPod menu structures, so you can use those. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab a track that I know is a little bit, that'll do. I don't know which one of this is, but we've now got a difference in BPM. This is 127 and 128. 2 ways we can do manually match the BPMs is we select the tempo control, and that brings up the tempo controls, and then I can actually move the tempo slider to where I want. It only does it in 1 BPM jumps, so that's as fine a resolution as it'll do. Okay, if I double tap, it will go back to its original setting. But To be honest with you, for those for those who want to use this, it's about £2 to unlock the full version. You know, you got your iDevice, you could pay £2 for your app, and you can DJ. You could do a house party or whatever. And the easiest way of doing it is, I'm just going to jump forward a bit in this track. Is set the track going, drop some bass out of your incoming track, and then when you want to mix, just do this. Wait for your phase. In fact, you don't even need to do that, it'll phase and match it for you actually. And you can hear what it's done is it's synced the BPMs up. So this was at 128, this was at 127. It's automatically synced this to this deck to this deck, and it's started the track on phase. So it started when it got to the beginning of the bar. That's when it brought this track into play. If you actually look at the waveforms, you can see that they're locked together. Now don't worry about there being slight discrepancies in the beat markers. Not sure why. I've noticed this on a couple of apps and also on desktops as well. Sometimes the beat markers don't quite match up for reasons best known to the developers. That is really as simple as it is. Other things that we do have, let me just stop this deck. In fact, I'll leave that deck running and stop that one actually. We've got an FX section. Now in the FX section, it's left and right decks. We have a drop down and we've got low pass, high pass, delay, echo, phaser, X phaser, flanger, jet, cut, chopper, crush, bliss, break and roll. Let's have a quick play with them. So we're going to the low pass. It's an XY pad. So okay, you got your. I'm not sure of the definitions of these. There's no clear definition of which axis is doing what, but you can. I'll turn up a bit. See the low pass working. Let's go into high pass. Let's have a bit of delay. I'll just jump that back. Some echo. Phaser. X phaser. Flanger. Jet. Cut. The chopper's quite interesting. Well, certainly as I play a lot of disco stuff, this is quite an interesting effect. I've come across it before. It's certainly in the disco genre. A crush, big crusher. Bliss. Gosh, it's like kind of noise, really. Again, they're useful for transitions, certainly in disco. Break. Strangely enough, the brake operates in slip mode and roll. Those are the effects available to you. A reasonable amount of effects actually, and bearing in mind this is a phone, that's not bad going. Sorry, it's compatito. Talk amongst yourselves. Right. We just come out of that. We do have these. What we'll do is we'll set up. Now, I am not a scratch DJ, but what you can do is you can set up a cut, press the little down arrow above your effect, that'll lock it in. So that's actually going to lock the effect now. Come out of that. I want to go into turn it up a bit. There you go, that's my very poor attempt at scratching, using the cut effect to cut the sound on and off. No doubt there'll be numerous comments saying, yeah, that's not proper scratching. You're right, it's not. Basically, that's the application. It's a very simple app. It does exactly what it says on the tin, and it's fantastic. One thing I will say is that in your settings menu, it won't allow you to select split output or external mixer unless there is a cable connected, either an audio output cable connected into 30 pin or into the headphone. Not both, but one or the other. These options are greyed out until that's done. It took me about half an hour to work that out. I can understand why it wasn't working. But when you think about it, it makes sense. If there's no cable plugged in, why would you want split output? Because there's only one little microphone in the iPhones, it's down the bottom. Anyway, that's it really. Can't think of anything else to say. I don't want to bore you. You're probably bored already. Worth having a look at it. Go to mixvibes.com and they've got all the details of the app on there for both the iPhone and the iPad. I think the iPad one is about $8.99. This is excuse me. This one is free, but you will need to pay $1.99 to unlock all the features such as split output, external mixer and the effects. But beside that, it's brilliant. It really is a fantastic little app. I mean, I've got the iPhone mounted on a bit of Meccano, a little Meccano stand I made yesterday, just to get the phone off the deck and put it above the mixer. So that's a little mixing station. So have fun, enjoy.